Hi from Agri TV, this is Sezin Zengin. Today we are together with Dr. Dina Popluga. She is a full professor in Latvia University of Life Sciences. And today we will be talking about climate-smart agricultural developments in Latvia. Very welcome. First of all, I would like to ask you, what is the climate change? Is that a topic in Latvia right now?
I would say yes. Climate change currently is quite a high topic in Latvia. Because actually we are in that region of world where we can see quite sharp climate change. For example, the main changes we can see in the winter season, because if in previous time the winter period was quite long in Latvia, with very cold temperature, with very high snow level, then in the past 10 years we can see that it's changing. Mm-hmm. The winter is becoming warmer, without maybe snow cover so long and lasting, and also in the summer we can see that summers is becoming more longer. It may start in the May and end in the September. Maybe previous it was typical from June till August. Now it's like extended. And also we can see that very sharp different climate extremes is happening, like frost in the summer, like very heavy rains in the autumn, in the spring, and actually it all affects whole economy, because our infrastructure, for example, of roads, are not suitable for such changes.
And it should have lots of effects on agriculture and agricultural product variety as well, right?
Yes, and actually agriculture is very sensitive sector in Latvia. Because for Latvia, agriculture is one of the top sectors. We are very big agricultural producers, but these climate changes are very affecting this, because farmers cannot forecast what will be the summer because of these very sharp changes. And for example, last year was very dry in Latvia. Mm-hmm. And a lot of farmers had very big yield losses for grains, for example. But the year before, the summer was completely wet, and farmers also received lots of losses. And actually, we can see that this agriculture activity are becoming more and more unprofitable, and farmers are asking from the government different support, different subsidies to make this negative effect more
positive.
Yeah.
But you are a part of European Union, and you are also benefiting from the common European Union agricultural policies, and there should be some subsidies to farmers as well. But is it same all over in Europe, or because of this climate change, I'm just wondering if those benefits are little much on the favor of Latvia?
Mm-hmm. I can say that yes, Latvia is member state of European Union, and our farmers are receiving the same payments as all farmers in Europe. But regarding this negative effect of climate change, each year, if in some member states there was very bad weather condition, they can apply for some additional support from the European Union. And for example, last year we cooperated with other member states, Lithuania and Poland, and the European Union helped us and will give some money for our farmers to
cover the
yes
losses.
To cover the losses. Yes.
Okay. And what are the main crops in Latvia that you produce?
The very dominant crop in Latvia is wheat. We are a very strong wheat exporting country. Then also rapeseed is very popular culture in Latvia. So we can say that around 60% from total agricultural output comes from crop farming, it mostly these are grains. We have very minor share of vegetables and berries and fruits, so this is very minor part. And the second largest this field in Latvia after grain farming is livestock, milk farming, milk cattle.
Okay, and how the climate change affect the livestock?
There are different effects, and one of the most obvious effect which we felt last year was that these farmers couldn't prepare sufficient amount of feed for their animals because the summer was very dry and the grass was this yield was very low, and one was this feeding, so it's not enough to prepare this feed like silage, like hay and other this feeding material. And another effect is animal health, because if there is very dry summer, they don't feel comfortable, there is a lot of illnesses, and so it's very, also this health effects is quite negative.
Okay, and I would like to ask about the greenhouses and the greenhouse gas emission as well. What about that? How is the situation in Latvia?
Okay, so at first I would like to start with this climate change, because actually the main reason for all these changes are this big amount of emissions which are in the atmosphere. And agriculture sector is also one of the sources who are producing these greenhouse gas emissions. And in Latvia we can say that this is quite hot issue. Because if we are counting all greenhouse gas emissions together, then agriculture is the second largest producer of these emissions. And so we are thinking in Latvia what we can do, how we can make agriculture more efficient, and how not to produce so much greenhouse gas emissions. And in Latvia, the main sources, main activities which are made by the farmers and which affect these greenhouse gas emissions are soil management practices. And we can see that one of the largest sources are so-called organic soils, which is typical for Latvian this geographical area. Then there is also a very high increase in fertilizer application on the soil, which also generates emissions. And the second largest source is cattle. Because from the cattle enteric fermentation, there also emissions are releasing, and it also affects this.
What about this, climate-friendly application? How Latvian farmers behave towards those? Do they adopt more, climate-friendly applications?
Yes. So in Latvia, we know this current situation, and we know that we need to do something, because it's also very common issue in the European Union, because we have some targets to meet, and these targets which are set by the European Union says that we need to cut our emissions. They must go down. But what we can see in Latvia, they are going slightly up, and so we need to think how to be more efficient in this. And in cooperation with Ministry of Agriculture, our university is doing a lot of different kind of research, and we are trying to think how to make it more effective in Latvia. And we have recognized that for Latvia situation, the most appropriate way, there are several ways where we can go and how we can reduce emissions, and for example make more efficient fertilizer application, be it more like targeted with certain amounts, not over fertilizing as maybe it is in the current practice. Also paying attention on the feed, what we are with how qualitative feed we are feeding our animals. This is also one direction where we can go, and different manure management practice improvements, pasture management practice improvements. So such kind of activities can be done in Latvia
Okay, can you give us a specific example that your university is working on right now?
Yes, okay. So we have looked at what our farmers are currently doing in their everyday activities, and we can see that already a lot of farmers are thinking smartly in climate smart way. And for example, in Latvia we have certain types of farms which are very developed and which are already using very good technologies. For example, they are using precision fertilizer application, which means that crops, fields are fertilized with certain amount of fertilizers, which is calculated and adjusted to the soil requirements. So it means that this is very smart, this application, and no fertilization losses are made. Then, for example, our farmers is also using direct slurry incorporation into soil, which means there's no losses of slurry in the environment, and it's very efficiently used. And then there is some farmers who are paying very much attention how they are feeding their animals. They are making analysis of feed. They know exactly what animal needs, what kind of nutrients, how many of feed, and so they are following this practice and trying.
But is that practice is common in agriculture in general, or it's specific to some farmers?
What we have discovered that actually we have only very few farms who are doing this good practice, and our task currently in Latvia is to educate farmers, to give these good examples from other farmers who are doing this climate-friendly practice, and to educate and make it more widespread in Latvia, because this is
promote it.
Yes, to promote it and to make it more like common in Latvian agriculture.
And what is your strategic plan to promote these agricultural friendly applications?
This year we are organizing different discussions with agriculture, with the farmers, and trying to inform them about these different practices that is possible in agriculture. And the next step, which we will take in Latvia, so in 2021 we'll start new programming period of Common Agriculture Policy, and our ministry, our government has said that they will try to support farmers to be more climate friendly, to be more innovative, and we hope that also some support, some financial support will be given to the farmers to make them more climate friendly and to make some investment in the farms and make it practice more smarter.
Okay. One last question. Do you have any other comments on the topic? And do you think maybe the climate smart agriculture should be not the concern of the countries such as Latvia, but all over the world?
Definitely. I think that in this century we need to move to this direction and to become more climate smart, because this is our option, how to keep the climate more or less in the same as it is now. And also what we can see from our different research results, this climate-friendly agriculture is also a very good way how to become more economically efficient, because in many cases this climate-smart activities is also giving some benefit for the farmers. They are getting extra money for taking care of their resources.
All right, thank you very much. Today we were together with Dr. Dina Popluga from the University of Latvia, and thank you for watching us. Have a great day.